We've seen it, it's all over the news. The dealers are telling us that the combined vehicle supply has remained unaltered from early 2023 to October 2023 at 52 days of supply. During the same period, it is reported that electric vehicle inventory has gone up to about 97 days. With that, they are saying this is proof positive that the consumer is not interested in electric vehicles. But here, my friends, we have a classic case of
There are three types of lies: lies, damned lies, and statistics.
as with any data, the devil is always in the details. So let's dive deep into this and completely crush this narrative and provide nuances to what is exactly happening in the electric vehicle market today. Let me preface my analysis by saying that the fact that this information is coming from automobile dealers is in itself enough reason to make any discerning individual to take their conclusions with a grain of salt. The reality is that dealers are a problem in this whole electric vehicle transition. We all know this. They have never sincerely wanted this transition. They can and do render lip service, but if you watch their actions very carefully, it becomes clear that they have never really meant it. And of course, the reason they do this is because dealers make most of their monies from vehicle servicing. Unfortunately for them, EVs with fewer moving parts do not require frequent periodic servicing as do their internal combustion counterparts. So comes the question, why then would they support something that is going to drive them out of business? They cannot. This is why even well-meaning Americans, as long as they are dealers, they find themselves in this very conflicted position. And most of us would do as well if we were in the position. If you found value from this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Helps me a lot. Thank you very much. Here's point number one. The reason that dealers are experiencing slowing sales is to do with the issue of unsatisfactory consumer experience when buying vehicles from dealers. I'll give you an example. Dealer markups. They are ridiculously high that they simply price people out. And what makes it worse is that electric vehicles from legacy auto are not refined if you compare them to Tesla. Not all of them, but to be quite frank, most of them are subpar products. My point here is, with the Tesla alternative available, it is very hard, in fact, bordering on impossibility, as the dealers have found out, to sell an uncompelling vehicle at an uncompelling price. The prices which are also compounded by the dealer markups. It's also important to understand that electric vehicles are a relatively new technology which was largely pioneered by Tesla. So what happens is that everything that Tesla does becomes the de facto standard in the electric vehicle industry. And since the standard, Tesla, uses a direct-to-consumer sales model, it is very unappealing for consumers to go and buy their electric vehicles from dealers. Consumers are just running away from price gouging and other unpleasant dealer-related experiences. Point number two, most consumers are actually waiting for the full rollout of the NACS connectivity. It is expected that beginning early 2025, some electric vehicles from legacy auto like GM and Ford will begin the transition from CCS to NACS connector. Now, you tell me, why would anyone make such a big purchase and such a big investment only to be forced to perpetually use an adapter, carry around an adapter, so that you can have an access to the supercharger network? While on the other hand, you could simply wait it out and be able to buy your electric vehicle, new or used, but what comes with a NACS connection. This is a no-brainer to me. Therefore, we should not believe the explanations given by dealers. Oh, everyone who wanted an electric vehicle has bought one, and therefore at the moment we have reached peak market demand. Not true. Not true. These days, consumers are more smarter, calculative, and discerning than most auto dealers and the anti-EV gurus realize. Point number 3. Specifically for the used market, the prices just needed to come down. You should remember that in 2022, with the supply chain issues, prices of electric vehicles skyrocketed into bubble territory. So, like any other market, when things begin to stabilize and we begin to see a return back to normal, it is expected that everything else that went into bubble territory will have to experience a correction. And in fact, dealers participated in this euphoria. They were selling vehicles at elevated prices. As far as I'm concerned, they're simply reaping what they sowed. So, no, the plummeting electric vehicle prices are not necessarily a demand problem, but a normal market correction which was expected and should be embraced. Another thing here is that dealers may well be losing the battle to Tesla. Of course, recently Elon Musk made a statement where he said, "I cannot be blackmailed by money." Don't be fooled with that statement. The guy still needs money to remain in business. And one of the most time-tested methods to generate more profit, generate more revenue so that you can remain in business is to capture as much market share as you possibly can from your competitors. And in 2023, that's exactly what Tesla has been doing. It has aggressively been reducing prices for its electric vehicles so that it can capture as much market share as it possibly can. Fortunately for Tesla, lately it has been making a lot of profit and therefore it can afford this luxury. The problem is for legacy auto and by extension the dealers, they do not have the financial muscle to sustain this price war. So the best weapon they are remaining with in their arsenal is to parade one another on legacy media to tell us that the low EV prices are a sign that the consumer is no longer interested in electric vehicles. Not true. Not true. These are what we used to call kicks of a dying horse. It's a fight that those who are afraid of the transition are waging against electric vehicles. Check out this video that I made which debunks hater comments against the newest electric vehicle on the US market.